So yesterday um, would have been um, my dad's side's of the family's big annual family reunion that we have every year. Um, my grandpa was one of 4 kids, and then my dad's the youngest of 10 kids. So we've got quite an extensive family, and every year for over 60 years we've had a an annual family reunion, and um, every third Sunday of July, and basically for everyone that's a descendant of our grandparents. So basically, all of my grandpa's nieces and nephews, as well as all of his descendants as well. So, anyways, thanks to the virus, that got canceled, understandably. And the whole time I keep thinking, it's been on my mind for a little while, but I can't help but wonder, how much of what we're being told about this virus is being, the honest truth about it. We keep, back when everything kind of went crazy back in March, you know, we're getting stories about how, you know, this virus lives on so many different surfaces and everything, and um, you know, we have to keep cleaning everything. We have to keep cleaning everything. We have to wear a hand protection. We have to wear masks and everything, and um, then since then I've been hearing that it's an airborne virus, passed on through coughing and sneezing, that kind of thing, and um, that that's why the masks are necessary to protect the spread and everything from happening. And and then the other day, after Governor DeWine's, or after here in Franklin County, it's mandated that we have to wear masks wherever we go here in Franklin County, because we're under level 3 alert for the virus, apparently. Um, and one friend of one of my friends from high school, he said that where they work, they were told that basically they only are enforcing the mask because it's mandatory by the state, when in reality you have to be around someone for a little while to be able to catch the virus. So it's not like it's like instantaneous, as soon as you touch someone you get it, or whatever. And it's like, I can't help but wonder, how much of what we are being told is the truth about this thing. It just seems like every day things are changing on how contagious it is, and how vulnerable we are when we basically leave our homes to catching it. And um, you know it seems like the media and politicians, have been no help whatsoever. um, I still remember back when the panic shopping was going on back in March. Channel 10 here in Columbus was discussing, or made a statement that they're not trying to scare anyone. And it's like, it's kind of late. got everyone in a panic already. So, but anyways, and, you know, the politicians, they're no help. I mean, everyone's so busy, seems to be so busy finger pointing at everyone else and how everyone else is responding, that kind of thing. But and then plus, you know, I can't help but wonder, you know, has the government kind of failed us in being prepared for something like this? You know, back a few years ago at the company I work for, we did disaster preparedness tabletop exercises, where basically we were given a scenario. We were divided up into groups to get off the phones and everything, and we would sit around a table and discuss, you know, the situation we were given. One year it was like, you know, if our building was hit by a tornado. Another year it was a blizzard or something like that. And back in the days of the bird flu, we had one where we discussed about, you know, what would happen if there was a illness going around. This is of course back in the days of the bird flu. And so anyways, you know, even back then, you know, we were planning, you know, we had a backup site outside the call center where we work, where we could go to, and we were planning on using that for if anyone was sick, they could go there to work, whereas, you know, everyone that was well would work in the regular offices. Of course, now we all have the ability to work from home, which is actually working out even better. But, you know, the whole thing was, you know, we were preparing, you know, ideas for how to handle a situation like this back then, and even, you know, last year, before all this started, you know, we were working on making sure our virtual desktop sessions that we had to work remotely with, you know, making sure that was working from home, so that we could, you know, work from home if needed, or if the need ever arose. But you know, it's like, why the government seemed to be totally slow to respond to this whole thing. I mean, I think it was like December or even January at the latest was, you know, I was hearing on the news that, you know, there was this virus over in China, and, you know, it's like, okay, it's on the news that there's this virus going around, but yet the government was just so slow, it seems like, to respond to put restrictions on travel over to these countries where the virus is going nuts and everything. And, you know, then, you know, the whole or the shutdown thing happened, or the quarantine thing happened. And, you know, you even had President Trump, if you want to call him president. I'm not a supporter, but that's something else for another discussion. But anyways, he, you know, it was arrogantly going on camera saying, oh, we're going to have people back to work in a couple weeks, and things will be back to normal in a couple weeks. And it's like, no, it isn't. So it's like, you know, every politician, you know, even Governor DeWine here in Ohio, you know, he's, you know, when they were started shutting down, they're like, oh, we're going to close the schools, then we're going to close bars and restaurants, then we're going to do this. It's like, why are you doing it only one at a time? It's still, you know, spreading, if it is even as contagious as they're saying. And so it's like, I don't know, it's just, it seems like politicians and everyone is just going on their own agenda on how to deal with this thing, and everyone's finger pointing, and you got, you know, even though just to be safe, you know, I have been, you know, wearing hand protection and, you know, doing bandana for my face when I go out in stores and everything, you know, practicing social distancing and everything, but yet you go into the supermarket and, you know, you got people going in there. Well, it's mandatory now that you have to have a mask on, although you can claim medical excuses and they won't enforce it. But then you have, you know, people that go in and they don't practice social distancing. They, you know, park their carts right in the middle of the aisle, or stand in the middle of the aisle, or rather than get to one side so you can go around them. You know, the supermarket I go to, they have one-way aisles right now in the supermarket. That way no one's having to pass each other or anything. But, you know, you got people that totally ignore that, and they come right down the middle of the aisle going the wrong way, and then they act like it's no big deal. And it's like, okay, can you not just follow I mean, it's not really anything major that you have to do or anything. It's just little changes to, you know, try to make things better, hopefully, so we can curb this thing and get life back to normal. But it's like, you know, everyone is just, it's like all the politicians and media and everyone's just finger pointing and being irresponsible about stuff. And, you know, the media, thing that gets me about this whole thing, and someone pointed out online on Facebook, one of my friends did, you know, here in the U.S., this virus is supposed to be so widespread and everything, and going nuts and everything. But yet, you know, you think about all these third world countries that don't have the healthcare systems like we have here in the U.S., where diseases often run nuts and go crazy and stuff. Why are we not hearing news about how bad it is in those countries? It should be a lot worse, you would think. But yet, we're not hearing that, which has me wondering, you know, how much of this is really, you know, as bad as what they're claiming, how much of it is just exaggeration, and, you know, how much of it is possibly what, you know, George Carlin has warned us about when he was alive, that, you know, we're just being played with by the government. You know, I heard one actor who has done some really nice video blogs on his YouTube channel. He talked about how he believes we're under a social experiment by the government to basically, you know, in the name of safety, see how far the government can push us, you know, claiming safety, just to see how far they can control us. And, you know, it's just, I can't help but wonder, you know, how much of this is, you know, just a government experiment, or social experiment. You know, I'm not sure if I 100%, if I even believe that, you know, the rumors that I've heard in the past with this virus being man-made and something that's just gotten out of control. But, you know, it wouldn't surprise me, of course, as much as the government's lied to us about stuff in the past. But, you know, it wouldn't surprise me that, you know, it could be something that got out of control, and now the government's trying to cover themselves and get things back to normal. But it's just, you know, the whole thing too, it's just, with all the finger pointing and everything, and the political fighting over how this is being handled and everything, I can't help but think, you know, back when I was a kid, back when the AIDS epidemic came about, you know, there was just so much back then with politics and business and everything, and finger pointing and everything going on, with people placing blame on the spread and everything. And, you know, there's misinformation back then about the AIDS epidemic, And, now we're seeing it again with this thing. And, it's like, who do we believe? Who do we trust? And, I'm taking everything I hear with a grain of salt. I'm, like I said, I'm using caution when I go out. Might go out rail fanning one of these days again, I'm hoping, because I found a couple spots where I can go and, socially distance myself from other people. And, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, are we being too cautious? Are we being under cautious? How bad is this thing? Is it really as bad as they're saying? Is it really, I don't know. So, anyways, let me know what you think. Are we, who do we trust on this thing? What's the truth behind all the claims about this virus and how we're supposed to be protecting ourselves? So, let me know in the comments, and take care, stay well.